What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Better Biomed. Folks, today is one of those days where I get new gear and I'm very excited about it. And this is a larger version. It's little cousin right here, or its little sibling rather. This is an OBSBOT and it's a cute little camera. It has served me reasonably well over the years. And the cool thing about these cameras is that they're AI and they can do motion tracking and whatnot. Well, the little camera was good, but the sensor is a little bit small. And a lot of times that I'm filming is going to be indoors, which means the lighting is not so good. And then I heard that they came out with this new one. This new one's got some cool features. I'm so excited, guys. So let's go ahead and let's do an unboxing. Boy, it's a slow roll. This one's going to take forever to unbox. Very heavy packaging. I wonder how big it is. All right. So, all right, first thing it says new tail, new tail. So this is the Tail 2 by OBSBOT. And oh my God, it's beautiful. It's a hefty little camera, but this is a gimbal camera. And that this guy here can rotate around and follow you. It's super cool. So this guy is very heavy, much heavier than I was expecting. And let's see, I got some stuff in the box. More stuff in the box. Maybe. Do I really have to separate the box in two sides? I sure do. Okay. I really wish the company would put stuff in the bags, in clear bags, so I can see them. Okay, USB-C to USB-A 3.0. That's good. And I've got a USB-C cable, and this one here looks to be not nearly long enough. So it's about 4 to 5 feet long. Okay. Yeah, definitely not long enough for what I want. I've got a power cable here. Interesting. The interesting thing is that they chose to go ahead and put red indicators on it at this power cable. And this one is a thinner diameter, but a longer length. So this one's about 6 feet long by the looks of it. So there's two USB-C cables. That's interesting. Okay, so that means that this one here is probably constrained by its length, by how fast it is, because this camera is super special. It can film 4K nonstop at 60 frames. 60 frames. That's crazy. I love it. Most 4K cameras at best will do 30 frames. And it feels still very heavy, but I think the box, I think that's it. So I'm going to very carefully set this stuff back in the box, because until you verify that something is actually functioning, it's never really functioning. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit this off to the side. Let's take a look. They're OBSBOT. Okay, so first off, let's see. I got a tab that's securing it, and there's a foam. It's in the bottom. Oh, and you guys are probably wondering, the other two cables that were in the box, these two right here, are, yep, that's a RS-232 in and out cables. So this camera is like a professional grade camera. It can be controlled via RS-232. So there's a lot of hand controls, and you can station the camera head at certain angles and whatnot. It's very neat stuff. Okay, so it's pressed to hold. Oh man, look at the lens on that bad boy. That is a beast. So that is one of the reasons that I really wanted this camera, because that is a hefty lens on there. This guy here, through simple gestures, I can get it to follow me around. Let's see if I can do that. I'm going to get up and I'm going to move over here. Okay, it just recognized me. Oh, look at that. And it is definitely fast. You can see as I'm moving around, it's going to follow me, which my other camera could do as well. In fact, here, why don't we just go ahead and pull the little camera down so we can take a look at it. I've had a love-hate relationship with this little camera, and it was never that little camera's fault. But the problem is that the OBSBOT has a lot of features and they require a lot of bandwidth. And I have a lot of USB-C stuff going everywhere. So this little guy right here, it needs a really good USB-C cable, because believe it or not, many of them are not good. And it also needs preferably power if you have a really long USB-C. But this little one can record 4K at 30 frames. But I'm currently using it for overhead right now because I can manipulate the gimbal and I can have it positioned with different zooms and different points right here on my desktop. So that's the little BB. And this one right here is the full on. And look at it. It's kind of intimidating how it's following me around, because that is one massive optic. Let's go ahead and shut it down so I can show you some of the other cool features. Look at that. It parks its head. I'm probably going to keep this foam because that is really neat that it goes right in there under the lens. Keeps it in one angle. So here is why this camera is super special. For one, you guys seen, I didn't plug it in. It has its own battery, which is crazy. I have a battery powered camera. This one here requires external source, USB-C. So this one here has got an internal battery and it can run for, I think, 4 or 6 hours. It's a beast. I've got mic in, line in, so I can run my wireless lav mics. I can run them into here. I have HDMI out. That is huge. So I can export 4K 60 frames on the HDMI. That is freaking fantastic. However, that is for local capture. It can't be that far because HDMI cables can't be that far. We just talked about the RS-232 in and out, and that's through these two cables right here. That is because there's a whole bunch of different consoles and stuff you can use to control these PTZ cameras. And I've got 3G SDI. Boy, am I kind of excited about that. The cool thing about 3G SDI is that you can run it over extended lengths. And you can hook this guy up to multiplexers and stuff like that. Does an absolute treat. Excited that it's got 3G SDI. I wonder if it can output 2 of these at the exact same time. That would be really interesting because the HDMI negotiates its EDID table, and I don't know if the 3G SDI does. I think it just outputs whatever you set it for, and that's it. However, this one also has LAN, and it's got PoE. So that means that this camera here, I could technically mount it someplace permanently, and I can power it from the LAN. Do you know how huge that is? That's pretty big. I can also use this as a, technically like a webcam, although it's a very expensive webcam. It's like $1,100, $1,200. So it could be treated like a webcam where it records 4K at 30 frames. So it can't do 4K 60 frames on the USB-C. I don't know why. I would normally think the USB-C has that bandwidth, but not. And the bottom port right down here is the aforementioned power. So that's not even the most exciting thing about this camera, guys. Let's take a look. This is a mini SD card. That means that this guy right here can record its video locally. I can record the video locally, which is so cool. So I can capture the audio with my lav mic, and I can go ahead and record the video right here to the camera. And I don't even need to mess with it any other way. I can just set it up. You can actually give it hand gestures to tell it to record. And just like I did earlier, I give it a hand gesture telling it to track me. So it started following me around. Now, one of the things I easily noticed is that the hand gestures work better on this one than they ever did on this one. Of course, they have updated the firmware on the little OBSBOT 4K minis. Yeah, this is the tiny 4K. And the firmware is updated multiple times on this, and it has gotten much, much better, but doesn't even compare to the Tail 2. As soon as I raised my hand up, it recognized it, and it immediately went into tracking mode. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now there are a couple other settings that you can set. You can gauge like how much of your body you want it zoomed in on. So you can do like a waist up shot, you could do a whole body shot, or you could do like a headshot depending on your range. And you can tell it to maintain that. So no matter where you walk in the room, it not only PTZs, it moves around and follows you, but it also will zoom according to your distance from the camera to maintain that aspect. Super cool. Now, one of the other super cool things about this guy that none of the other ones do is take a look in there at the lens. You notice how it's a little oblong? This guy here can orient itself portrait or landscape. And you can set that. You can tell it, hey, I want to do this in portrait, and it will zoom in, it will maintain a portrait. And it does that by rotating the sensor 90 degrees. Normally on cameras, what they will do is they will crop the image. So instead of having 4K, you'll have like 2K or something like that. But you'll have your portrait image. Nope, this guy here rotates the whole sensor 90 degrees, and there you are. You're in portrait mode, and you're recording at full 4K. This is so fantastic. I dig the little battery sensor in the front that tells me the battery levels. And of course, one of the things I'm going to love the most about this guy is it does have the 1/4-20 for standard tripod mount, which is exactly what's going to happen. The irony is I would love to record this video with this camera, but I've got to set up the software and everything for this guy. So this is really just my first experience. These tabs down here, because there are some base options that you can have for charging and control. So there's some RS-232 down here through the bottom. But yeah, guys, that's it. That's the OBSBOT Tail 2. It's heavier than I imagined. And now what I've got to do is develop a case to transport it, because as you can imagine, you don't want to beat this thing around very much. And look at that giant, beautiful lens that you don't want to get damaged or dirty. So now I've got to come up with a case, can transport this securely. I do wish that they would allow us to lock out the orientation so that it won't rotate around. But alas, this one doesn't have a lockout feature. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is wrapping right here around the mid underneath this motor. I'm going to have some Velcro wrap, and that will keep the head from flying around because it is kind of heavy. And as you can imagine, that heavy head will have some inertia, and every time it slams in, there's going to be a end stop in here that it's going to be stressing. And I really don't want to do that. I don't know how delicate it is. It feels like it's a beast, but still, you never know. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be recording videos on this guy. When I go out in the field and I do tours and stuff, this guy's going to be on a tripod. And as we give tours, this guy here is going to be tracking us as we walk around the room and talk about what's going on. It's a super cool camera, and I'm going to dig that 4x optical zoom, maintain that full 4K, even though we're zooming in on what we're working on. And eventually, this guy here might be up here, because currently I have this guy set down here right above what I'm working on. And the bad part is it's in the field when I'm using my front-facing camera. You can see it behind my body. So with this one here being a 4x optical, if I mount it up there on the wall, then I can optically zoom into what I need. Even if I'm working on something over here in the shop, I can zoom in from afar and it's just fine. This thing being battery powered and able to record locally and able to capture my audio from my lav mics, my lavalier mics, which I am using the Rode Go-Tos. Capturing this wireless audio on this wireless camera means that I have the ultimate system for being able to record videos on the fly in the highest quality possible. So excited, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you like these kind of videos. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and stay tuned. We're going to do some trials on this guy and get some video